All right, thank you. Beautiful time on television this morning on ITV. So good to know that you are here. Remember, I told you that it's all countdown to EDO 2020. Today is the 19th day of August. We have exactly 1 month to go to EDO election. And of course, I wouldn't want to say that tempers are high, but interest is very, very high, particularly for the people contesting and even the electorate. Well, there seems to be something that we must talk about. We must also feel the pulse of Nigerians in the diaspora. So that's the reason why that I have decided to just coin this topic today so that we can look at the impact of Nigerians in diaspora, the diaspora factor. And of course, to look at all this today, we've got 4 discussant. I have 2 here with me, and of course I've got 2 in the diaspora. First and foremost, I have Barrister St. Michael Egwage, who is a member of the APC campaign organization in Edo State. You're welcome to this program this morning on ITV.
Thank you so much.
All right.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And I've also got Barrister Dennis Society, a member of the PDP campaign organization in Edo State. You're welcome. You're welcome to this program this morning on ITV. Yeah, I've got 2 discussants outside the country. First and foremost, I have Mr. Nusa Edobo, a political analyst, and of course, a member of the PDP campaign organization in diaspora in Canada. Nusa, good morning. Nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to see you, and good morning, Edo.
All right. And all right, too. And I've got Honorable Martin Sado, who is the CEO of Jagaban Security Solution and coordinator of POI Diaspora Campaign Organization, of course, the donor of POI Campaign app. Honorable Martins, you're welcome to this program.
Good morning, my friend, and good morning to Edo people.
All right. Now, for viewers out there, we're going to let numbers out, as the program progresses, so that you can also send your short SMS on the program. Now, the number to send your short SMS to is 08024645409. I repeat, 08024645409. And when the time comes, we're going to let you know so that you can come. Gentlemen, you're welcome one more time.
Thank you so much.
Now, let's look at, EDO 2020. Talking about Nigerians in diaspora, one is tempted to ask, what kind of impact do we think that the diaspora factor is going to have on EDO 2020? I'll start with St. Michael Egwage.
It is a good thing that in recent time, Nigerians and Edolites, particularly in the diaspora, are beginning to show interest in how their country and their local environment is governed. And they are beginning to add their voice on a daily basis, to the national discourse. And this is very evident and more common and obvious if you engage yourself in the social media space, where you see people from other jurisdictions, other countries, lending their voice either for or against on both sides of the divide in the political discourse. However, the impact is going to have at the moment, to me, is academic, simply because majority of the diasporas, do not have PVC, and again is that they may not have the benefits of even traveling down, to come and cast their votes, if at all they had PVC. And this problem would have been cured via electronic voting. But electronic voting has not been captured, has not been taken care of by the Electoral Acts, which is the legislative instrument that guides elections and other ancillary matters thereto. Not until the legislative instruments is amended and the electronic voting is accommodated, the impacts of Nigerians in the diaspora, will be seen as persons who have a low premium value in terms of electoral value.
Okay. Now, let me come to Barrister Osaitin. Now, we are looking at how the Diaspora Factor, how it's going to impact on Edo election 2020. What are your findings?
Well, for me, the impact on the election is going to be huge, because research has it that over 20 billion US dollars comes into the economy of some African countries by way of remittances from the diaspora population. And Edo is not an exception, or Nigeria is not an exception. A lot of our persons, a lot of our citizens, a lot of Edo people are residents outside the country. So they make a bulk of the diaspora population. They have relatives, they have communities that benefit from them, and somehow they have a way of probably influencing their, their kinds of choices and expectations. So, but that notwithstanding, legally speaking, there's still an issue with the enfranchisement of these persons, because the electoral, like my learned friend mentioned, has not made any specific provisions as to their right to vote, or be voted for. Because for you to take part in an election, or to be a voter, you must have your PVC, and you must be resident, in the place where the election is to take place. Of course, there's no room for online voting yet. So, if you live in the US, for example, and you're from those states, and by 19th of September or thereabout, you're not in Nigeria, you may not still be able to vote, even when you have a PVC, because there's no arrangement for such persons to be captured even in the voting process. But by and large, that is not to say that they don't have a role to play in this election. Like you mentioned, especially when you know that the world is not a global village. They go out there, they canvass, they can mold opinion. They can involve in the debates, in setting agenda for the electorate or even for the politicians themselves. So the diaspora population from Edo will have a major stake or a major role to play in the coming elections.
Okay. Now, talking about diaspora, now let's join our two guys in diaspora. We have Nusai Dobo calling from Canada, and also we've got Honorable Martin Sado. Now, Nusai Dobo, I'll come to you first and foremost. You are a member of the PDP campaign organization in Canada. Now, you would have seen the manifestos for most of the political parties, majorly the People's Democratic Party, that is your own party, and of course the All Progressives Congress. Now, how would you want to react to these manifestos, the contents of the manifestos?
Manifestos simply show that the government knows what they want. They have to put it right, and while people that manifesto let's take it back. First and foremost, the Bible says that people are good, but so where people go and think that was cool. And what
the
and they cooking fat. And that kind of form has all the effect. The one and it also has those workers level of confidence in planning whatever they want to do with their. So that
is loud on the other end.
Idea of what the government has in mind. There are a lot of other programs like the so really, I think this is the foundation for growth and development of a state. One is that education, not just going to school. I'm talking of formal and informal education. And the government for me has shown from every action taken that we want that education to be taken in by everybody in the hence that neutral make everything great again. So you can see that things are happening. We are talking about commercialization, we are talking about agriculture, we are talking about job employment, we are talking about other things like farm projects and stuff like that. And look at it, let's talk about development. You can't develop things, you can't have things. That's constant power. It's that constant energy. And the energy plant set up at the shop that will soon be running is an example of an indication that the government knows what it needs to run the economy. So for now, I think that in comparison, like the last thing, one is simple and general, one is the mega and general. Compared to the compare it to a mega and general. So for me, I'll simply just say that the mega project by the government of Governor Manifestos is the right thing, and I want to see those, of course, who have the right and the ability to vote to keep into that thing.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Nusa Edobo, from all the way from Canada. Join us on this platform today. Now, let me come to Honorable Martin Sado. Now, we're looking at two key issues here, two major manifestos. One borders on continuity, and of course, the other one borders on coming into governance. How would you want to react to all this?
Thank you very much for having me. In fact, when I listened to the first speaker, I could deduce that he lacked the capacity to understand how.
No, I won't let you say that. You stay put to your own points.
What I'm trying to say
he made his own opinion. Yeah, he made his own opinion. So
measure of bigger agenda and simple agenda.
Yeah.
Compare it together. You see, the simple agenda is a code. It's just an acronym for the things that our party is going to do for Edo people. It's not simple. The N means security and social welfare, and the I means infrastructural development and urban renewal. The L means manpower and trading, and the P means public-private partnership. And then the L means leadership and example, and the E means employment, vision, and social empowerment scheme. So it's not simple, it's an holistic approach to the problem of Edo State. This project is a model for the whole Nigeria. It's a structural project. So when I hear bigger of what? But there are no groups like this. So we need to hear not talking about bigger. What kind of programs? You have not mentioned what programs. So I'm giving you what to do. And hey, you see, this is the program that structurally creates to move Edo people forward. We cannot leave the dilapidated economy anymore. All we have seen is here, we cannot see and looking at next. Or my second is just next. So what will be structural? How can you link your economic activities to renovation of schools and sectors? Come on. We need infrastructural development. We need construction. We need construction. We need projects. And this is what Manifestos is all about.
Okay. Well,
they look at no. They are
all right, thank you, Mr. Sado. You just hold on. We'll come back to you so that we can also have more, reactions from you. And Sado, please just hold on there. We're going to get back to you right away. Now, gentlemen, you've listened to the two speakers from Diaspora, from Canada, and of course from Holland. Trying to elucidate, more lights on the manifestos. But one thing stands out. You see, these guys, they left this country in finding of greener pastures, and of course they are not here. But they are still very, very much still interested in what is happening at home. What do you think is the underlying factor? I'll come to you, Dennis.
Yeah, for me, it's a constitutional right of citizens to be part of the democratic process in their homeland. So the Constitution has made it very clear, explicitly clear, that every Nigerian, whether you are in Nigeria, you are in the diaspora, you have a right to participate in the process. All right. So whether or not you are able to vote or not, now depends on what we have, the legal regime we have on ground. So it is not surprising at all to have our diaspora, our brothers, our sisters take particular interest, because in the first place, if everything was well in their home, they would not be out there in the cold looking for greener pasture. They would have been here in the States, enjoying the benefit of good governance, like they enjoy over there in Europe or in America. So it is important, and that's a clarion call to other, EDO people or Nigerian citizens that are out there in the diaspora. They must take particular keen interest in what happens in their home, because if it is not safe, if it's not well here, the pressure will keep increasing on their shoulder over there. So that's why they must take active participating role in what is happening in their home. Even if you cannot vote, you can be a part of the process that will bring about good governance. You can sponsor, you can do all manner of programs just to encourage mass participation in the process. So it is commendable to see our young men and women who are living in the diaspora, despite the fact that they are not here physically, but with the benefit of the internet, with the benefit of the fact that the world is not becoming a global village, they are still very much abreast with what is happening in their homes. So it is very commendable. I want to encourage others like them to take participation. They should not just feel because they have left the shore of the country, they now leave the process to those of us that are here, or to those who are not even well educated enough like they are. So they must also take particular keen interest, because whatever happens in their home still have a way of, it has a spillover effect on whatever happens to them, even while they are there in the diaspora. So it is very commendable.
Okay. Now, Senator Gwagi, now we understand that the NIPCON, that's the Nigerian Commission for Nigerians in Diaspora, is on the verge of trying to see a situation whereby Nigerians outside the country can actually vote. As it stands now, if you are outside the country, you can't vote except if you come in, and of course you have your PVC. Now, but do you think by the time Nigerians in diaspora begin to vote, will that improve on the quality of the kind of elections that we have in Nigeria?
Certainly. I'm quite positive that by the time the diasporans are given the benefits of actively, participating in the political space and environment, it will nourish the present democracy that we have. Howbeit, it must be noted that our democracy is still evolving. A few years ago, the diasporans were not this involved. It means that the political space is beginning to expand, is beginning to accommodate the involvement and participation of all and sundry, whether you are domiciled here or whether you live abroad. For me, it's a commendable development. It's a welcome one. The only shortcoming and minus in all the political razzmatazz generated thus far by the Nigerians living abroad, as it relates, to EDO 2020, will go to nothing if they don't have the benefit and the opportunity of voting. Like I ended in my last opening remark, I said that the premium, placed on the electoral value of the diasporans is still very low. Why? Because after all the noise generated, after all the talk, after all the submissions and attempts, to add value, to the political discourse, their efforts only end at the level of moody opinion. They cannot vote. So I am still calling on the relevant agencies, the relevant authorities, to amend the Electoral Act, to accommodate the active and effective participation of Nigerians in the diaspora, because at the end of the day, that is what makes them genuinely Nigerians.
Okay. Now, I still have Nosa there and Honorable Martins Sado there. Now, Nosa, I'll come to you. For the past 3-4 years now, we've had this administration and another election is around the corner. Now, how would you want to describe your impression about the governance in these past 3-4 years?
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Naturally, for me, I won't be involved with this process if I didn't believe or I didn't feel that the government of the day is doing terribly well. First and foremost, it has proven that EDO can generate funds. Okay, and I think the basic reason why the came out of other parties before now was simply because he came to change the norm. He came to change things. Unfortunately for them, he was part of the system. Even when the government before this was on. And so there were things he observed while in that system, which given the opportunity as the governor, he began to work upon. I am very much aware that the state IGR has increased over time in comparison to what was coming in within the previous government. Okay? Secondly, they call it the MOD government. And I tend to imagine somebody was mentioning public private partnership as part of their network, and yet you are accusing somebody else of being an MOD government. How do you monitor a partnership with any private organization or public organization without an MOD? So I don't understand that. But having said that, you can see that those MOUs are channeled towards things that will give credence to the projects ahead. Okay, for example, the beginning of that is right now being progressed as a implemented. The idea behind number one is to make sure that Edo State is open to the world, and without anybody asking, or rather, I would like to let's not blow the issue on that. This delegated support matter has been on board right from the days of Loki's government. Nobody talked about it, nobody took action. Everything has been just blessing or looking to the Jerusalem level. But this man has come in and is working. Whether you believe it or not, I know he's working. Even a man that has $1 billion in hand will not just bring the house and put it down. It takes a lot of things behind the scene before that full begin comes to manifestation. So that's exactly what's happening in most of the projects. And some of the projects that are already on ground, they don't give credence to it. Okay, somebody talked about renovations. If you don't maintain what you already have, What then in the essence of creating a new one? I can ask you right now to go around communities in Edo State. There are a lot of federal and state projects that are just there wasting all over. Not maintained, some they never commissioned, some they just used all those projects to siphon funds. So it's not really about what project has been done. For example, talk about roads. Fine, roads are good, they are very necessary. But if not because of the backwardness of leadership in Nigeria, would roads be what a state governor should be talking about as of today? No. So let's let that be. Having said that, you can also see that this governor is somebody who is smart. Okay? He certainly cannot afford to resolve everybody's problem in Nigeria, in Edo State rather.
Okay, all right. Let me hang you so that I can also let the other man bear his mind on some of the issues that you talked about. Now, Honorable Martin Sado, you've listened to Musai Dobo. He talked about some of the policies and programs and projects as achieved by this administration. I don't know what your reactions are to this.
Well, with due respect to my friend, PDP friend in Canada, I think I don't think there is any other government, consecutive government before who have generated revenue like this government, like the IGR you're talking about. If you take a look at the statistic, I go to your website because everything I do, I say is based on research. I don't just come around to talk. You see, apart from the Paris Club report, Edo State got about 20 billion from the federal government of Nigeria, and also they have about 75 million loan they took from, the World Bank that they want to use to execute the C4 project for the A, B, C, D, E, and R states in South. Coming to even the internal generated fund that they get, Edo State has generated as of September 2019, they have generated more than 8.2 billion naira. So all this money, one would expect that Edo State will be transformed economically.
These claims, are they authoritative?
Yes, they are. You can check them from the state. Yes, they are verifiable. You can check them from the National Statistics Bureau in Abuja, because states that get funding, they are being registered in this National Statistics Bureau in Abuja. So go there. I have made my research. Look, what I say is based on empirical findings. That is why I want to engage people on intellectual discussion when it comes to the issue of Edo State. I don't want to come and hear that the governor is going to do this. Look, the Gelegele ports you are talking about, they are fine idea, brilliant. I love them. I would have loved and also want to assist. But how can you sign an MOU for 3 years? I mean, you are in Benin. I don't have to tell you. The last time I checked, before I was leaving Nigeria in February, I went around. If the Ologbo modular refinery, the other industrial park, I want to see for myself. Nothing is happening. All you see is just some kind of to make people believe that this project will be done. If you want to do something, there should be a groundbreaking, and there should be construction on free that we can see. Even I make a research to NNPC, because when I was trying to make my research, I found out that they said that they have sent some NNPC officials to China to go and check the refinery that is being used in China. But when we did our research, the NNPC are not even aware. So I'm almost about 150 million were a mark for NNPC officials to go to China. Okay. And then it's quite a close project.
All right.
People are very, very educated.
Okay, I'll pause you. Yeah, Honorable Martins, I'll pause you. You still stand by. We still have, a discussion here so that they can bear their minds on some of the issues that you raised. Now, I'll come to Dennis. Barrister, you heard what Martin Sado talked about, project policies and all that. You want to react to what he said?
Yeah, very quickly, like I said, I commend the industry of our brothers who have joined us from Diaspora. But just to say that some of the things that he alluded to may not be absolutely correct, because to say that probably the government of the day have just been doing MOUs for the past 3 years cannot be absolutely correct, because we live here. The last time he was here, it was in February, so a lot of things have happened from February till now. So just to say that a lot of things are currently on ground, and from a dispassionate point of view, it is very clear that EDO is no longer where it used to be. But there are a lot of things that needs to be done. Of course, he has mentioned the Gelegele Seaport. Just to mention that the project that borders on the port, so the river port, is absolutely not within the purview of the state government, because you must involve the federal government and other critical stakeholders, in bringing such a project to light. But the basic thing is that there is a desire to have such a project or infrastructure in Edo, and that must be commended. I also want to mention that in Edo, for example, there's what they call the inland dry ports that people are not mentioning. Down Sapele Road, it's a product of a public-private partnership that has come to light. Almost like 80% or so are completed. So that is another laudable innovation that we must also commend. It's an inland dry port. What that means is you don't need to have a port, partially situated in a riverine or on the waterbed. This one is a dry port within the city, and therefore means that cargo can be bettered and then transported all the way to that dry port within Edo State, and the product of a PPP arrangement. We also mentioned the fact that there is currently, an independent power plant somewhere down Sapele Road as well. This is your power plant. That's another product of the PPP arrangement. So when people keep going to argue and say what the government have been doing is MOU, I laugh because I've seen such a project on ground, and it is worth commenting. I've also seen a lot of reforms within our, let's say, the tax regime, the tax reform that we have mentioned. Before now, you will hear a situation whereby persons who are not even state actors or agencies tell you that they are revenue collectors, but that seems to have become a thing of the past, because all the collections that have not been done by the state government, as it were, and it has been greatly reduced. And again, the taxes have been harmonized. As opposed to people paying all manner of levies and rates, these taxes have been harmonized. So as an investor, a potential investor coming to Edo State for the very first time, you now know what your liabilities as far as tax is concerned for the very first time. It has now been harmonized. That in a way has improved the ease of doing business in Edo State. So what about the issue of security? So all these are many more are things that we see on ground. And then look at, for example, I'm a lawyer, and I keep telling people that I've seen for the very first time some deliberate attempts to revamp the the justice subsector. If you go to the state high court currently, there are a lot of innovation going on, a lot of building projects going on within the state high court complex. Since the era of Ubemodia, such a thing has not happened. Because if there is no sense of justice, no matter the investment, no matter the infrastructural development you bring to bear, these things may amount to nothing. And that is why I still feel that a lot of persons believe that this government has done well. And it is worth commending, because a lot of things have been left to decay over the past few years, and this government cannot solve it within just 4 years. So that's why I believe that if it is re-elected, most of all these projects that are mentioned, like the Gelegele River Port, for example, will become a theme of a pride to Edo State. So that's why I must encourage the state government to partner with the federal government to ensure that projects like that is very critical to our economy. The state government cannot do it alone. They must partner with the federal government and the relevant federal ministries to make sure that the river ports becomes something that will become a pride and a major infrastructure, not just to Edo State, but to the South in general.
All right, we also have that program still this morning on ITV, on independent television, and we're looking at Edo 2020, the Diaspora Factor, and we still have Nusa Edo there in Canada, still on standby, as we also have Honorable Martin Sado in Netherlands, that's in Holland, also on standby. And Barrister St. Michael Egwagi is also here too. Now, Barrister Egwagi, let me come to you. the whole thing, borders on what should be done differently. That's the reason why that we have other political parties. We have all the political parties contesting, and of course we have your own party, the All Progressives Congress, contesting against the People's Democratic Party. Now, what do you think your own party, the APC, we want to do differently from what we have on the ground?
In the interest of justice and fair play, I just hope you give me enough time to react to the issues raised by my learned friend here.
Yes, you have.
I'm doing that deliberately.
Yeah.
Let me, by way of preliminary, salute the intellectual logomaki of Honorable Sadu for speaking to the issues as they are. I'm surprised that in spite of the distance, he hasn't lost touch with the realities here in Edo State. He spoke about the Usomo power plant. I want to remind our people that the Usomo power plant is almost 80% owned by a Chinese company. And the plant is not meant to benefit private consumers like us. It's mainly to power government agencies, parastatals, and ministries. Again, is that we are talking about Gelegele seaports. That was a major plank of his campaign in 2016, which ought to become an indicator, to assess the level of performance, going forward. Gelegele seaport is still at the level of MOU, and I have been rendered a complete miasma, something that has not been realized and perhaps not realizable. The industrial park is still at the level of MOU. The central park, he promised us, is yet to be seen.
Yeah, but we have construction.
Go there, what you see there is a complete social imababa.
No, but
have you been to the central park of late? I go there to take vehicle.
And I noticed that there is
poto everywhere. Poto, it has not been realized. He said he was going to realize it within the shortest possible time. What you are saying is that he's still under control. As if they want to realize it, you cannot put it part in his scorecard. You can't put it, if he's going to, if you are going to engage him based on his report card today, it will be part of it. It will be part of it. Again, is that when this man came, he met in tertiary institutions that were still functional, that were still in existence. Where is Ekarelo today? The College of Education Ekarelo is on closed down perpetually. Where is College of Agric Igoraki and the counterpart satellite campus in Agenebude? All closed down. The academic staff and non-academic staff have not been paid for over 11 months, even going to 18 months. They are in the street of Benin protesting. What about the School of Nursing and Midwifery? It's all closed down. What about the School of Technology in Use? All closed down. What about the Benin Technical College? All closed down. So this has been a government of closed down and MOU. Is it the same government you want us, to repair with a second term? Oh, no. This is the reason why we are showing this government a red card. This government does not earn a second term and does not deserve it.
All right, let me pause you. Now, I'll come to Barrister. Now, he talked about the College of Education in Igore. He talked about the College of Education in Ekiadolo that is totally closed down. And he also talked about some projects here and there that they are just on the paper. And I want you to react to all this.
I laugh when I hear propagandas like this. The College of Education, to my knowledge, College of Agric, in Guaraki, to my knowledge, is not closed down. Rather, there is a deliberate attempt to revamp that institution and then upgrade it to a standard that it can be globally competitive, and become a College of Agri. That is what its name, and that is what the government is doing, to my knowledge. For the College of Education, Ekiadolo, that college was upgraded by the government of Comrade Adams Aliyu Oshomole to a university of education without making the necessary budgetary preparation and allocation for its takeoff. While that was ongoing, there was massive work going on in EDO University in Iyamu that was set up almost the same time under the same government of Adam Somole. So this problem was created by Adam Somole, and Mr. Godwin Obaseki, to my knowledge, have also made deliberate attempts to put pay to paper. Because if you know, once a college has been upgraded to a university status, it requires a lot of resources for its takeoff. In terms of manpower, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the various certification, all these things take time for it to materialize. And that's what the government have been doing. Right. And for the staff, for the workers in that college, I'm aware. I hope you do what to respond. But I gave you. I'm aware. Then you come back to him. I'm aware that the government has directed that the staff of the College of Education in Ikadolo should move to the other satellite campuses. No, that's a lie. That's a great lie. For them to go here to lie to the public, for them to go and resume duties in Abudu. But a lot of them have refused and why are they protesting? Why are they protesting? The men with basicity, and all that. But workers in Ikadolo and the The associable power plants, like I said, is a product of MOU. Okay. Because a public-private partnership arrangement between the churches. How about the state? I'm coming, sir. I'll answer your question. It is important to put this out there that the generation of power is in the concurrent list, which means both the federal government and the state government have a stake in how powers are generated and distributed. Currently in Edo State, we know that the BEDC has the exclusivity, contract to distribute power. So it will be foolhardy for you to think that the associable power plant at get-go will begin to start distributing power. But the point is, the arrangement for it to be distributed to private citizens is also in the works. Okay. So once the power is a white elephant, so once the associable power plant comes upstream, I can assure you that beyond the public infrastructure that will be benefited from that power source, private citizens can also now opt out from BEDC and not be able to get their distribution from the system. So I must tell you very quickly that a lot of things is going on, and we must not shy away from the fact that the government promised that we will create over 200,000 jobs, but on record today, from statistics available from the EDO jobs portal, over 108,000 jobs have been created. I know how many EDO citizens have gotten permanent job placement in the civil service over the last 3 years. I can tell you, even in the State Ministry of Justice, I know how many lawyers have been employed permanently as opposed to the hard work arrangement that was under the Adam Somole-led administration. I want to mention names. Yes, okay, I'm sorry about that. I'll tell you about that. But I'm telling you that in the last 3 years, I know how many persons that have been gainfully employed by the state government on a permanent basis, on a pensionable basis in this state. So, to say that the government is not doing anything, that is not correct. In terms of roads, I can tell you, go to our road road today. That road from airport to Harden, all the way to bypass, over 1 hour. The Ekema road is currently under construction. Other said, the two road is done. So the road has been done in this area. That's what I'm saying. Okay, now I said very much. Let's open there so that you can also drop your comments. 08024645409. I'll repeat 08024645409. Please don't call me, okay? Just drop a comment, and of course I'll read it out. Now I've got this one now that says that School of Nursing was not closed down by Godwin. Absolutely. But I said don't mention names or by Adam to someone that was to say. That's the fact, yes. And of course we also got this one that says that good morning. I'm a sister from Benin State. Let us say the truth. This government
have failed Edo people? That's your own opinion. Now, 08024645409 is still the number, 08024645409. And of course, we'll have this one too that reads that, let's see now, it reads that, good morning, sir. Please, the APC analysts should maintain decorum, speak to the issues. Edo people are conversant with the truth, and of course we are not all blind. That's your own opinion there, only that you didn't tell me your name. And please tell us, all right, okay, now you just express your own opinion and forget what people are saying here. Express your own opinion. And of course, we have this one now that reads that it says that PDP candidate is fighting for his interest, just interested in Osadebe and not other people. All right, he's disturbing other people. That's your own opinion. Now, 08024645409. Now, Musa Edubo, we still have you there, and Honorable Martins, I must sincerely thank you because I know that this time is not favorable with you guys because of the time difference. Now, Musa Edubo, now if you come down to Benin District, and particularly to Benin City, you will find arguments here and there, who did this and who did not do that and all that. Now, I don't know whether you guys also have this kind of political analysis, in the situation in Edo State over there in Canada.
Yeah, there are always two sides. Thank you, Mr. Evans.
Yeah.
There are always two sides to a point. Okay, and I really want to appreciate my brother at the other side that has been talking on behalf of the current government. Unfortunately, I must say that when you listen to APC leaders, when they talk with emotions. And
no, stay to your own position.
Yeah, sorry, I went down. What I was trying to say is that people are in Edo State. People live in Edo State. I don't live in Edo State right now, but there are people. I have family, I have friends who live there who see. If I wasn't seeing things happening, I won't be fighting or supporting this move. Okay? So, over here, we also have people who believe that the government is not doing anything. And, like you said, it's their opinion. Okay? So, for me, all I just believe in is that the man that is in control of government right now is smart, is intelligent, and from the moves he's been making, based on my level of exposure, I know he's the right person for the job. I don't have anything against the candidate of the APC, but right now somebody's already on ground who is delivering. And if we are smart in Edo State, we should support him. Number one. Secondly, I would also like to say that he has come to disrupt the political space. Before now, nobody ever believed that Edo State would do what it's doing now, because the only thing you hear is that there are not enough funds. If teachers, national teachers, the whole Nigerian teachers, who call this governor and give him an award for being a very good governor to teachers, for me, that's something to show that he has something up there. Okay? Pensioners before now, they will die queuing up. Their pension was like something like a blessing in heaven. But now, even people who are to retire, they are happy to retire because the moment they are retiring, they're getting that everything's going. So for me, I'm not going to be telling you, hey, did this or that. Those are for kids. People who are in the city know. Okay, if you are building a house, don't build it in the sky. You build it on the ground and people see it. So I won't come here and start asking anybody to say it's not doing it. Call him an MOU governor, no problem. I like his MOU, and I know that after an MOU, you now have a project running. That's how projects work all over the world. Projects don't just appear. Things must happen behind the scene before it comes down to reality.
Okay.
So I'm only just speaking to the conscience of people in Edo State. Don't allow anybody buy your conscience. No matter how much they give or they spend, vote for truth, vote for reality, vote for your future. Okay? Before now, people cannot move around in that city without being harassed by touts and thoughts. But he has come and he checked that.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, Nusa.
Those are things that people see and they know.
All right, Nusa, thank you so much. Let me go to Honorable Martin Sadona. Now, you hear people talk about MOU and all that. Now, the question is, can we ever really have a government or a governance without MOUs? Is it possible for a government to really achieve in policies and all that in development without going through MOUs? Is that possible?
No. The answer is basically no.
Okay.
But however, if you sign an MOU with a company or probably with the government institutions, as soon as the MOU is signed, there are terms that are detailed in the MOU. One of them is about the time the project is going to kick off, and then who pays the lion's shares, percentages, and stuff. But all these terms are look at. So both parties, lawyers, will look at them. So the moment you have paid your signature, what happens is implementation immediately. That's how we do MOU in the Western world. I run a security company. When I sign an MOU with my clients, they send me the agreement. I go through it. I give it to my lawyer. My lawyer reads and tells me the terms. Once I agree, I have paid. I start execution. So for 4 years advance. Come on, look. This is why I say I don't want to engage in this discussion with people who talk about anecdotal reports. I want to go down to a kind of empirical research. You are a journalist. There are investigative journalism. Please, just take your time. Go to NNPC. Interview their officials. You will see that there is nothing going on in China. Come on. They are telling us that the refinery will be built in China. Okay, if you really want to go into Britain, why don't you allow the refinery built in Benin so that we can create jobs? Chinese expertise will come to Benin and train our youth. So why are they building it outside and they will bring our example?
Okay.
And assemble in Benin City.
All right.
Now,
I'm afraid because of time factor, because if you check the time, we'll just have about 4 minutes before it's 9:30. And of course, at 9:30, I'll have to take a pause for a segment. So, Honorable Martins, thank you so much for your contributions. So thank you so much.
Thank you very
And
much
also, on the side, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time spent with us on this program. Now, quickly, I'll just take the SMS. Now, you choose to be there. You can still stay so that you can view and listen to the program. But I'm not going to get any comment from you anymore. So thank you so much from both of you, for both of you there. Now, we've got this SMS that reads that Raymond, by name, they should all please leave incumbent governor alone. He is the best governor ever from Benin. Let us support Obaseki. Well, that's your own opinion. And we've got this one now that reads that, let's see, it says that 4 + 4 = 8. No going back from Togo, Kende in Benin City here. Well, we've got this one too that reads that, let's see, it reads that Governor Obaseki is the best governor after Bermuda since the inception of Edo State in terms of developmental strides. The APC, okay, now you don't stay on your own, on your own reactions. Don't castigate other people. Is not allowed here. And of course, we've got this one now that reads that, let's see, it reads that my name is Meg from Ugbo. The lecturers in the CAD law started protesting the very week Obaseki was facing Adams Oshomole's NWC, who plotted his disqualification, and so thereafter their protest was politically motivated. But that's your own opinion too. That's your own opinion too. That's your own opinion too. Now, gentlemen, quickly, I think okay, we'll have to take a short pause now so that we can do some other segment. We'll take a short pause, and when we come back, we're going to return to Egwake and Barrister Dennis too. Now, Mr. Adwell, thank you so much, and Honorable Martins, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, the program is still here on independent television, and we still have the two gentlemen here talking about Diaspora Factor EDO 2020. Now, gentlemen, as we wrap up, just 1 minute each. So what are our final take-up, from all that has been said? I'll start with you, Egwage.
My final take is that EDOites should prepare their PVC, so that we exit this government of close down, a government of MOU. We can ill afford another 4 years, to continue in an environment of dream, of hallucinating, of promises, without putting plans in place, to give birth to this dream and making this dream a reality.
Okay.
On September 19th, we are all going to troop out and vote out Governor Baseki Ashaibu.
All right, now, Barrister.
Me, on a final thought, I want to commend the EDO both here in Benin and in the diaspora. I need to encourage them to take particular interest in what happens in Edo State, and to encourage their people, their wards that are here in Benin and all around Edo State, to ensure that there is a peaceful election, there is a credible election, and there's an election that will be accessible to all, and to encourage them to have not gone out to go and look for greener pasture. It's now actually high time for them to start coming back and bring their wealth of experience, come and contribute their own quota to the development of the state. So having said that, I want to encourage the Edo people to ensure to remain steadfast and remain committed to the process, of ensuring that we vote for a government that cares for us, and a government that will not give credence to brigandage and terrorism. So to ensure that they vote for a government that will protect them and put their interest on the premium. Once that is done, I believe that those states will be better for it.
Okay. All right, thank you, gentlemen. And that's all we have to say today on our discussion segment on the program this morning on ITV. So we'll take a short pause now so that all the segments will come your way. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. God bless those states.